the scene of the crime. I didn't make it out here last time. So, yeah, this is supposed to have been the destination last time, and energies aren't exactly the best. It's decent. Not too many passerbyers out here, but either way, connect to the frequencies. I felt like today's the 19th. I felt some shifts, but everything is quiet. Well, I've had some interactions here and there, but yeah, interference and things like that, but nothing too intense. Yeah, it's I guess we'll see. Yeah, everything's the unknown right now. That's every day, but it seems to be whatever is creeping in is not making itself clear for obvious reasons. But yeah, the alien energies, definitely there's some, obviously movement behind the scenes. That's always the case. Of course, they're not going to make themselves known publicly for, because, we have a lot of lunatics. You can just look at some of the spiritual community with that. You just keep creating all this nonsense out there. People seem to eat it up. That seems to be where it's at. More convoluted space arcs and whatever the hell it is. The old guard moving to the new guard. What is this shit? And the lunatic asylum. Well, at least of course, with the religions, they've had some time to iron out a lot of their differences, or, well, obviously not fully, but I don't know, they seem to get, I don't know, it doesn't mean they get along all that well, whatever. Well, because in the spiritual groups, at least in this, it's a lot of cult energies. Got siren frequency. Maybe not the best energy, but, take what you can get. Yeah, the problem with spiritual communities, is the Charles Manson frequencies. For some, at least. Some do look like they're part of the Manson family. And some might have been part of it in the past. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Love and light community too, whatever that means. Yeah, anybody could say that. That's funny. So obviously, I don't know where the shift is heading into for obvious reasons. Last week was the turn of events, you could say. Not finding which way I can go without having too many passerbyers in the way. Okay. Too much interference. I guess we'll go this way. So, yeah, no beach at all. No beach out here. Yeah, out here, it's maybe not right now, because the people here don't exactly have the best frequency about whatever. Bringing their crap here. But yeah, further out, around, either way, away from here. It just felt a lot more, just clear. Yeah, the more you get away from civilization, I'm like 45 minutes from town, from the big city, or 30 minutes, I'll say more 45, because it gets more in the thick of it. And it gets more countryside. Yes, it does get a little weird too, but whatever. It's just the way it goes. It gets more alien out and about. And as probably many know, you can get also, what do you call it? directed, or there's another word for it. Squirrel. If I can get him. Probably looking for something to eat. I think it was last year. I was here last time. That's when they would run up to you. I don't see that very often. But yeah, you feel like you're going to go to a certain point. Well, even coming out here, this is where I had the implosion. Roundabouts. So yeah, you get directed to go to certain places for some kind of contact. But yeah, for the alien energies happening behind the scenes, yeah, we're building up to some kind of who knows what. And it's a whole lot of nothing. It's, yeah, either way, they're still constructing some kind of timeline behind the scenes. It just hasn't, always, of course, but not, something's got to give eventually. I mean, the U.S. is slowly imploding no matter what you say or where you go. It's not doing great. Yeah, especially with recent political events. It's it's not. And of course, yeah. Somehow we'll survive. Whatever happens. Seems like it's something. Yeah, something has to give. Yeah, but it's a long wait. It's a patience, energy. It's God. You're here for something. I mean, a lot of us are here, exempt from having an actual life. Of course, the New Agers complain about everything. Of course, they get to love and light and manipulation all over. But some of us are like we live. Yeah, like I say, the basics, and that's it. You just get to be here. And that's about it. You get to watch everybody else live a life, whatever that. Yeah, it's messed up. Yeah, a lot of the New Agers, at least the spiritual teachers, they kind of live the same life. They all kind of looks the same. They kind of all have the same mannerisms, sort of. They're all very similar. They have the same template. They kind of live in the same life in some ways. Very, of course, and then again, when nothing's working out, I guess you're living the same life as those where nothing's working. Yeah, everything is, just like out on the beach a while back while the floods. Yeah, it's very still. Yeah, well, you say pause. Yeah, it's very still here. It's just, it's waiting for something to give, or also they're, even with free will and all that, of course the alien beings are guiding for some kind of whatever we're heading into. The rest of us are just on the outskirts waiting for what? Ronald McDonald, somebody giant sized Ronald McDonald takes over the planet or something. We're waiting for it's just not making itself clear at all. It just, obviously there's a lot of rumblings behind the scenes with the talk show situation, which is freaking hilarious. That needed to die a long time ago, so of course they're going to be fighting it and crying and doing, of course, it's been there forever. It's not something that dies instantly. So they're going to be kicking and screaming for a while until they run out of steam. Yeah, imagine Jimmy Fallon all there. Imagine they're next eventually, but maybe they'll hang out for a while. They want to pull that scab too fast. Let them, people who die, suck this all in as the change occurs. So it kind of is an implosion there, kind of. Culture shift. Yeah, and more to come. There's just a lot of breakdowns. Businesses and everything, so. I've been tapping also into the Illuminati timelines here and there, how they control the government, use the military for their own personal, bodyguards. Yeah, that's a lot of power there. Obviously, they run pretty much infrastructure of everything. They have some kind of, chemical plants, everything. They're all intertwined in pretty much our daily lives. They're pretty much somehow, heard but not seen, or not seen, and whatever word, have their name out there, but pretty silent. Pretty much runs everything. Doesn't mean they can control the timelines completely. They can influence them, but they can't control it. If that was the case, the world would be a different place. Because then, if they overstep their boundaries and all that, they just die instantly. Things, whatever. I don't think the aliens like me talking about those guys. I don't think about them that much. Just been picking up on their vibes. Not that, not that. The end of the deep state. Heard someone. Yeah, how long have they been saying that? I don't know, forever. You've always heard that. Of course, the U.S. and everything. It's not exactly going the best route right now. No, either way, it's still not in a healthy spot. Not that it ever has been, but it's definitely going. Political change, not seen yet. It's not that it's waiting on our end, or we just can't see obviously what's going on behind the scenes for obvious reasons. But we're of course involved with. Some of us are involved with it, and it's just keeping yourself sane through all of this, which is easier said than done. Of course, there's different versions of the ground crew. There's some are really intertwined in it and don't remember anything, and others that are still healing their karma from secret space programs or whatever it is. Can't let it go, or it's been so stamped with MK Ultra. Trying to undo all that. Maybe some of them are. Some just create more problems for themselves. I guess you need a hobby, right? And it gets views. People seem to like it. It's like talking about digging yourself a hole. I'm feeling less and less of this timeline. We're here, but we're not here. Like, we're here as a physical energy, but we're still not really intertwined with society or anything. We're just sort of. Talk about being a watcher. Talk about really being on the outskirts of it. So, either way, so go into some of the. That's the reason why I come out here, stuff like that. It's cool. Victorian energy is something a lot different than where I come from. For some reason these and preserved too, which is kind of rare actually. So going to Pleiadian energies, I guess. Even being out here is kind of like going back in time. It's kind of a bit of a time warp, I guess, too. Not necessarily everybody's in the past, but there's a good portion of that here. I'm on attention. Actually, let's go back this way. Sundown, they're gonna start closing the park off and everything. So, Pleiadian energy, obviously, there's a lot more going on than just those guys. Just trying to fix their shit. But there has to be some, like for disclosure, like for the ship's landing or some kind of, it'll be all behind the scenes. For now, at least. As usual. But whatever we're waiting for to switch out or change, something's gotta happen. Jeez, we're all just sitting around what are we doing here? We get to wait here and just play checkers until our heads fall off. Jeez. We're not allowed to have a life here. Have some kind of life, but not really. It's not really a life. It's sort of just, like I said, we're just here. Some of us are just here. some of the SSP people or the New Agers. I'm not sure what the hell that's about. God help us all. Well, once again, a lot of that's all fixated into the physical stuff. Some of us don't give a shit about the physical at all. I mean, obviously we have to kind of deal with it, but we don't really care. But a lot of New Agers really still, they New Age their physical experience. Crystals, whatever the fuck it is. Clothing of whatever the hell that is. It's all that physical stuff. And the rest of us don't give a shit. And it's not just warning here. Obviously, we got to clear whatever we have to clear, but obviously, there's a bigger picture that we're not shown going against the mind control. Of course, it's funny, a lot of these major spiritual groups, that's all it is mind control. Just sharing that mind control. We're all in the same lines of our mind control, our brainwashing. We're all in the same boat with our brainwashing. We just want to make sure of that. What is that, the truth of it? Yeah, it's trendy. Just the way it is. Yeah. Lovely culture we're in. So, can't see I guess the Pleiadian energy. I feel them floating around here. I feel like a fountain of youth energy. I don't think I felt that here last time. That's cool. You can live forever and have no life. How exciting. God help us. God, fuck that shit. Jeez, man. Well, I guess this is where the fight is. We have a planet of know-it-alls are stuck in their ways through whatever religion, even the spiritual community has it. It's all just, we all know everything, and that's just the way it's going to be. So, moving through all of that to bring some kind of change, I have no idea what's going to occur, but look what so we'll see what's next. Okay, let's have the Pleiadian energies, and we'll call it a day before they kick me out of there. All right, greetings to the Pleiadians. Yes, of course, there's a lot to learn from this reality, and some of you are just doing what you have to do as this assisting with the earth. There's different ways of looking at it for ascension. So basically, you're bringing a new time, a new era, but much of course we can't even go into the details. Just it is part of disclosure, but not the version that you expect as for alien intervention. Of course, the alien beings, which are many. Well, just think of it as some of you probably are tapped into, just a fourth dimension realm that is alien. This society is that like a whole other society that's involved with assisting with their timelines. Like not necessarily a timeline society, but it's kind of like that, where we're all just helping you evolve. And it's busy, and let's say we're definitely not all talking to each other, but there is communication going on, and we get denied timelines. There's just a lot of movement there. So think of it just like a society of, it's it's nowhere near like yours, but there is. But not to say we're not all getting along either. That's not the point. It's just what we're bringing into your reality. And not everyone knows what each other is doing. And that's kind of the point. Yeah, so not to say there's a huge, yes, many do pick up on the wars. And yes, there is a war here. It's war of the soul, the life, to, basically to conceal knowledge. in your reality, what's happening now. They're concealing knowledge, but it's not. It's so much. It's health wise. It's a big part is health. It's not just your ancient times, but really health is the big one right now. It doesn't mean you have to live forever, but at least live healthier. And as you can see, it's been made more difficult to do that. And and of course, not everyone's supposed to be exactly perfect health, and some do sabotage their health for their own reasons and so on. So I can say the health energy is where we put a lot of our effort in, of course, but of course there's much more to it in the main timeline. Of course, we can't go into details of that for obvious reasons, because some of you are involved, most are not. I mean, you are and you aren't. Like you might get the updates. You're not too involved, but you get the updates of the timeline coming up, possibly. But because there's accept and denial. So even through the channeled energies, we bring in a possible timeline, some deny it, literally bring it up physically, through words, of course. And even if people don't even see this, they can still pick up on the frequencies. And if they need to see it physically, if not, no big deal. So it's just, and you can say many are in denial of their own abilities. And many do shut themselves down. I mean, yes, they might be positive, which they say they are, or at least they're still keeping a lot from themselves. So denying their own growth. There's some growth, but sometimes they don't always want to hear their own truth, whatever it might be. So there's a lot of that happening here too. Truth, we're like, some are in relationships currently that can probably just walk away and do something more productive with their lives. Let's put it that way. That's a general way of looking at it. We literally can walk away before they make a bigger mistake. And without compromise. We'll just keep it short with that. Thanks.